I just pulled up here to the site in my nice Prius. But here we go. We're coming up here, guys. But we just did a pour yesterday. And got to kind of look at this thing, man. And always, guys, something else you want to do, man. You always want to have a place where these guys can do. They clean out, your concrete guys, when they do the pour, they clean out. Now, on this pour here, we didn't have to get a pump truck on this one. So we kind of got this thing going here, guys. Let me just see what it looks like. So you can kind of see what we got going on here. Got a couple of garages right here. Actually, this is a 4-car garage, guys, believe it or not. It's good enough to, boy, I tell you what, man, the doggone leaf that got on the doggone, oh, okay. It just stained it. Guys, you notice I actually put, guys, I put fiber in this concrete. It's just a reinforcement to make the concrete stronger. I think there's just certain things I'm just gonna start doing to my jobs, like fiber in the concrete is one thing. These guys, so what these guys do is they get a little Gatorade, they stick a little hole in it, and while they're finishing this stuff off, hope I ain't screwing nothing up. While they're finishing off, they come here and they squirt a little water in it. They squirt a little water on the concrete so they can finish it. So that's what they did here, guys. So this is, guys, we got a backfill coming today. So we get the backfill in today, guys. Well, hopefully today. He got another job site he got to do first, and then he's gonna swing over here. This backfill is not really hurting us right here because this right here area is also finished space. We got this as finished space as well. So you want to finish the inside of this right here. Guess we'll put a little short door right here, guys. Storage right over here. But guys, so we're not cutting. I told those guys to bring a skid steer, and that is critical. The reason it's critical, anytime you have a septic tank, if you got a septic tank, guys, they're going to give you, typically what they're going to give you is a primary location for your septic tank, which in our case is our front yard right here. That septic tank is going to go right all over here in this whole front yard right here. Feel like that's why we had to push this house back just a little bit more. The secondary septic tank, which is we really don't want to use unless we have to, because in this case, we would have to pump this area right here. So everything in this, like I said, guys, this right here is finished area here. We're gonna finish. It's not like this house that we built over here where the basement wasn't finished. So we had the stuff in the basement that we had to pump up to the main level. The main level was the main area that we was concerned about, which we made sure, that's why we elevated the house a little bit higher. So we made sure we had good positive fall so we don't have gravity fed septic tank lines that we had to pump. So we don't want to pump that stuff. Same way here, guys. I want to make sure that my pipes here, this is a split for you now. I want to make sure everything drains, and it does. That little mark over here, this little mark right here is where we have, I let my guys know, that's why I put that there when they was doing it. And so we are draining right here. Everything is coming out here. We can put our septic tank right over here on this side, and then we can come here and we can run our field lines all throughout here. So when you have a septic tank, field lines that you have to put in the house, guys, you got to have a primary, i.e. front, and a secondary, i.e. back. The primary, I'm always let that be the gravity fed. Secondary would have to be pumped. It had to be forced up. So we don't want to mess this up, which is why I told the guys when you come here to do my backfill to bring a skid steer. Skid steer is not as heavy and it's not going to cut any of the land. So we don't want to cut this just yet. We probably will eventually cut some of this right here, but we just want to backfill everything to make it really safe for my framers. I want my framers to get up here and then they get on the top, this next floor, and somebody get up here and fall. Now they got to fall another 8 feet. So we don't want that to happen. So I get my back, and then plus it kind of cleans everything up, make your job site look a whole lot better if these guys come in and, you know, like now topsoil like this right here, we'll hold on to that topsoil. That's gonna come at the end. We hold on to that because we're gonna need that in the front yard from a landscaper. So we'll backfill this right here out. But guys, like I said, with the septic stuff, you need to, before I start cutting and getting big equipment in here on this site, I want to make sure that I get this right here field line area approved first by the local municipality. Not the local municipality, in this case, it's going to be Jefferson County. Jefferson County would need to approve this thing first. And I can start, you know, doing my little thing, guys. But I want to make sure that happens first. So this is what we got, guys. This is the slab. So guys, we're ready to frame. So I got the framing package. Ought to be here by Thursday. I'll probably push my guys to come in and start framing Friday. I think that's better. The next thing I got is I got my what's the guy name? I have the next thing you want to do is you want to have your foundation in place. This is critical, guys. You want to have your foundation in place survey done. So you need to call your survey. I called my survey out here yesterday. Because guys, I haven't gotten any, the only thing I've gotten on this right here was a down payment for this house. But you see all this stuff right here, this is $70,000 worth of work right here almost. I hadn't gotten anything from the bank on this right here. Because they're not gonna, typically, this is not always, typically they're not gonna give you anything until you get that foundation in place. They're not gonna let you do your first draw until you get your foundation in place survey. What they're looking for on that foundation in place survey is they're making sure that that house is meeting the setbacks. The local municipality is making sure you're meeting the side setbacks, rear setbacks, and the front setbacks, and you don't have to come in and do some kind of a, I don't know, you don't have to do some kind of a, you know, forgot what they call it. You may have to do what they call it, a variance. You don't want to get into the variance and stuff like that. So we had to be about 70 feet from the road on this house. But guys, yeah, you got to go ahead and get that in so that I can get paid, so I can pay my guys. This is something else, man. I got to do a whole video on this right here, guys. Guys, as a builder, man, you want to have enough carrying cash. You want to have enough cash to float. Floating cash is what I call it. Guys, you got to have enough floating cash or credit to be able to carry this stuff and pay your subs, especially the ones that actually come out here and do work. And then your material guys, you got to be able to pay those guys, man. You got to be able to pay them as you go. And so you got to have that working, that capital, that money that's in your account that's able to do that stuff, man, until you get your first pay. So a lot of time, guys, with the builders, you know, some of the problems with some builders is that from the time they invoice to the time they get paid, it takes a long time in some cases, guys. It takes a really long time. So you got to be able to float these jobs out until you get paid, man, until you get everybody paid. Because you also have interest, you know, if some of your materials and stuff go about a month, your material guys, if you go another month without paying them, man, they'll tack on interest on you, on your payment. So you want to get those guys paid, man, because you're losing money. Yeah, so that's why it's critical. Like I said, guys, it's critical. Go ahead and call your surveyor, have them to go ahead and do a foundation survey. It's called a foundation survey. We used to call it, when I was the building official, we called it a foundation in place survey. So it shows the foundation, and then that way everybody can look at it. That's just documentation that the bank got to have in order to move forward. It is what it is, guys. You're not going to change the bank mind on that and say, well, I ain't got to have this. No, you got to get that. Just go ahead and get that stuff on in. Have enough cash to float that job out so you can pay at least the guys to come out here and do the work so that they'll come to the next job. You know, that's what you want to do. But this right here, guys, this looks really, really good. Like I said, guys, I put fiber in the concrete. Now, I didn't put any joints in the concrete. I don't think we need any joints here. Well, if anything happened on this, I hope nothing happens right here on this slab right here, which is why I put the fiber here. I like for this right here not to get cracked. But you know, if you get cracks throughout here, man, this is gonna get covered up. But now there's something else, guys. Guys, you gotta have that National Association of Home Builders performance guideline. Guys, I think if you're a builder, you should have a copy of that. just go ahead and get a copy of it. If you're an inspector, if you're a home inspector, go ahead and get your copy of that, guys. Get that copy, man. And that way you can manage expectation, man. The guys ought to know this is the expectation on construction in the residential. And this right here was done by the National Association of Home Builders. It was written by the National Association of Home Builders to kind of manage the expectations of homeowners and builders and just the industry, you know. And it'll tell you, you know, if the crack gets so big in this concrete, well, builders you need to address that, man. You ain't gonna bust out the whole concrete thing, but you may need to fill it. But it tells you how to do that. So I just hope I don't get cracks over here. I can get cracks over here because this will be covered up. But you want to watch it. It's gonna take time for us to get our flooring in this area right here. So we're gonna see where the cracks are, you know, if we get cracks over here. So guys, these are some of the things that you want to do. Get that slab in, guys. This right here looks good, man. I tell you what, man, this is pretty. This is pretty. Guys, you also want to keep checking your budget, man. Make sure you better have some software. Guys, you better have software that's gonna help you keep up with budget and keep up with costs and how you spending. A lot of builders go under, man, because they're just not organized. They're not watching things. Like every time I get an invoice now, I go ahead and upload. I mean, as soon as that invoice hit, you know, maybe within a couple of days, I go ahead and put that in my software. It's called Octane OS. I go ahead and put it in there, watch that software. The software update me and say, hey, man, you went over on this one right here, man. We got to do something else. We got to figure something out. We need to do a variance and pull it from somewhere else. And then it'll adjust the other stuff, so I kind of know where I am on the other stuff too. Software is the way, guys. Octane OS is what I use, guys. It works for me. The guy that wrote the software, man, I mean, he's very savvy. He works in the commercial world with software, you know, and he does a really good job on updating the software if I needed, you know, if things are not working the way just things, tweaking it out the way I needed it to get tweaked out. So, and the software is always evolving, you know. So, guys, if you're a builder, guys, like I said, guys, builders, guys, you got to have organization. You got to have structure, organization. Software is going to be your way. Estimating is another thing. So, it helps me with my estimating too. Helps me understand commercial stuff because we use the cost code similar to what the commercial use. So, there's a lot of little things that's going on there, guys. But guys, that's going to help you. If you're a builder, you want to build, man, these are the things that you need to be focused on. You know, I know us as builders, man, we just like to come out to the job site, see things get done, you know, talk to the inspectors, talk to the framers, make sure they're doing everything. But we never really think about the administrative side, tracking the money, making sure everybody get paid, making sure you get all the invoices. I mean, I even had to call some of my guys to make sure they sent the invoice. Hey, man, hurry up and send me that invoice. I don't want to wait 2 or 3 weeks before I can figure out whether or not I'm on budget. I need to wait 2 or 3 weeks to figure out whether or not you charge me the right thing. And now, you know, whether or not we got to go back and forth on this thing to make sure everything is right. So I don't want to have to go through that headache. I'll go ahead and deal with it right now. All right, guys, like, share, subscribe, and this is the way.